Okay, we're recording.
We're recording. Yeah, special guest. Oh, special guest, the King. Right, so full disclosure, the King is due for his lunch, and Leanne and I are about to film. Leanne is one of his most favourite people on the planet. He absolutely loves Leanne. He loves her so much that he's just desperate for her to get this big squat. So what happens is when he sees her, he just feels a bit sorry about the fact she hasn't squatted 100k yet. And sometimes it leads him to cry a little bit. But seriously, of all the people that have bought him presents, you've bought him the nicest presents.
Thanks.
You bought him his first ever package with his name on it, William Don, and I've kept the package for him. He always knows it. Anyway, apart from getting me in trouble with the council, which is a legal matter, so we shouldn't say too much about that, because that's currently with my solicitors, making sure that they don't overstep their boundaries. Apart from that, what else have you been up to?
Oh, just Zoom Zumbas, Zoom total body burns. I've got an interview on the radio tonight.
Have you? What station?
BBC Radio Devon.
Woo!
Woo! Yeah, it's all about the girls
like
doing their charity.
Yeah. Is that the one that was the 9 grand one?
Yeah, I've just gone over 9 grand. Yeah,
that is unbelievable. I tell you, that they're the sort of people that should get OBEs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not too keen on this chicken casserole today. I think he's more interested in the chocolate stars. But yeah, that's absolutely amazing. So you're going to be a radio star tonight, yeah?
Yeah, got a face for radio.
Just be careful, because for all you know, that could be illegal. You might get arrested for talking on the radio or something.
Well, they're phoning me in my house, so I'm not.
Don't worry. I've demanded a full internal investigation into all that. But anyway, that's a legal matter, so we're into that. So let's talk about Thoughtful Thursday for this week. So you and I had a chat, and obviously we're pretty close now, we hope. I see in the press today they're talking about the madness of extending this lockdown, based on statistics. So it might even be sooner. One of the things you and I spoke about was, we've talked about the power of contribution, we've talked about being of service, etc. One of the things we wanted the group to do for this week's exercise was actually to start to try and support local business, stroke the hospitality trade. So, for example, I have a number of friends who run restaurants, cafes, work in hair salons, etc. I think people know how sort of significantly all those businesses have been impacted, as we have, of course. And I think within our group, we might have a platform to try to show some support. And I want to extend that idea a little bit further. So, for example, the exercise this week is I want everyone in the group to post their 3 most favorite, or the 3 they want to support, whether it be a cafe, a restaurant, a beauty, a hair, whatever. Mine will be, you right, bud? Mine will be, for example, the Hare and Hounds in King's Scarsdale, which is run by Andy Jones, a long-term member, long-term friend of mine. Andy, I would say, is one of the best businessmen I've ever met, and someone I have incredible respect for. Why? Because he isn't a businessman. He wants to run the best restaurant in the world. And his customer service is the best I've ever seen. If there's ever a problem, someone doesn't like their meal, Andy goes to them in person or calls them in person. Andy is exceptional. And I think they've been closed for the best part of a year now, on and off. So the Hare and Hounds would be number 1. When I'm finally allowed to get back to the real world, some of the people that I've missed the most, like my goddaughters, Grace and Amber, and their mum, Karen, who is my boy's godmum, I said, right, as soon as we're able to, we'll go in Hare and Hounds, we'll have something to eat together. So Hare and Hounds would be number 1 for me. Number 2 would be a place called the Linny. I don't think many people will have heard of Linny. It's only about, it's probably half a mile from my house, but it's in a village called Coffinswell. So it's quite small. It's run by Chris and Tamsin, who are members of Torquay, and their boys, William and Eddie, were our first ever Lions members in about 2006, 7, something like that. So great family, incredible food, great place. It's a little bit off the beaten track. So a lot of people wouldn't really, you'd never drive by it. You have to be going through the lanes and all that. So the Linny would be number 2 for me. And number 3 for me would be, of course, Ockham Farm, because I can't wait to take Leanne to Ockham Farm and talk about all our ideas, running a great gym while she's smashing back those lovely sausages that they do there. And
that's not what happens, actually. You always buy a breakfast, I can't eat it, so you end up having everything I leave. And Mr. Elimination Diet is butter in his bread like this.
As I remember it, you were too busy burping for us to actually have any much of a meeting. But anytime any athlete that comes down to see me from anywhere in the country, we always go there to eat. The ladies there look after us very, very well, especially when I and Mike's having one of his crazy raw food phases or something, idiot. And he's asking him to, like, oh, can you do me a bowl of this, bowl of that, bowl of this? So Ockham Farm would be number 3 for me. Great place. Now, aside from people in the group giving a shout out, what I'd like them to do, if they have it, is to post a contact name in the group. Why? Because what we're going to do is contact these people. So, for example, Andy, who runs the Hare and Hounds, and we're going to ask him if they'd like to provide some sort of promotion for winners members. So Andy might say, oh, great, so we've done this before. In fact, he's very good to us. He might say, okay, Simon, how about, your members, two people can come for a carvery for £20 or whatever it is. Now, I understand that most people are going to be struggling for money, so they're not going to be eating out a lot. But I think it makes sense that if we've got sort of members who run their own facilities, or, oh, I'm about to get chicken casserole everywhere, or if we've got members who are very, very, if I can get him on camera without him knowing.
Oh, look at him.
Casserole, bud. There you go. Got it? Want it? No? Oh, he spotted you there. If we've got members who say are very friendly, like I am with Andy and with Tamsin and stuff, then I thought it'd be really good if they are going to go out somewhere, perhaps they could almost keep it in the family and just go to these establishments. Now, there's another reason behind this. Everyone knows that I was anti-lockdown for various reasons. I'm definitely not, anti-COVID. You've got to protect people, but I think there's much better ways to deal with it. One of the real areas that's going to be impacted, obviously, a lot of young people work in hospitality, whether it be waitressing or behind the bar, etc. And it appears to me that of all the sort of problems people are facing, that age group, obviously my daughter is one of them, having a pretty rough time, because for a lot of them, it's their only source of income as they're trying to go through further education. We've obviously had the furlough scheme extended, great. I think the reality is a lot of those jobs won't be there come the end. And I think a lot of people in cafes, pubs, hairdressers, restaurants, etc., hospitality, I think, the difference that, say, 10 of our members going and buying a meal once a week there might make, it sounds crazy, isn't it? But it could be the difference between them staying open or having to close. And I think this is what people don't understand, the impact on that family, those children, those employees from losing their jobs. I think people really underestimate that. What job are they going to get? So I would like the group to be really proactive in naming the 3 places they'd like to support. If they have a contact name for that place, please post it up. What we will then do is get in touch with that person and say, would you like to offer some sort of incentive to winners members? Maybe they do it on a quiet night, like Tuesday or whatever it is. And our members could then go along, get a nice meal, get their haircut, get their nails done, whatever it is. And hopefully that way we sort of keep it in the family and we're able to sort of support some local businesses and maybe stop a few people losing their jobs, maybe alleviate some of the massive stresses these people are going through, trying to keep their businesses afloat. And that would be something really powerful the group would do.
Yeah, love that idea.
Did I explain it all right?
Yes.
Yeah, you got anything to add on that while I do a mouthful of chicken casserole?
Well, I'll shout out my favourite 3 from Paint and Wear.
KFC, is it?
No.
For your eyes only. Anyone knows what For Your Eyes Only is?
No, what is that?
It's a strip club.
Oh, yeah, of course it is.
I'll tell you a Winners 2000 founding story now. I remember when Ben and I were starting the business back in like 1999, we were driving around the country looking at various bits and pieces like equipment and computer systems and all this stuff. I remember being in Bournemouth and we went past this place called For Your Eyes Only. And I said, oh, I knew a girl who used to work there. And, thinking that, what is my 85-year-old business partner going to know about For Your Eyes Only? And Ben turns around to me and says, FYEU? Oh, yes, I've got shares. They did very well for me. And I'm like, wherever, anyone that knows Ben, wherever you are in the world with Ben, he knows someone, he's been to school with him, or, like if anyone knows their history, like the Second World War and the Enigma Code and the guy that broke it, Alan Turing, and there's statues of them all around there's a statue outside like Surrey University and stuff. Ben knew Alan Turing. Ben was at Cambridge around the same time. Do you know what I mean? If anyone's into cricket, like Ted Dexter was England captain, chairman of selectors, friend of Ben's, friend of Ben's.
There you go.
Wherever we are around the world, Ben's normally known someone or has got shares in a strip club like you do or something like that. Yeah, go on anyway.
Yeah.
Your favourite?
My favourite 3 businesses, no stripping required, is I'm going to give a shout out to Sadie Morgan Aesthetics.
Yeah.
She does my lovely facials and sometimes a little bit of Botox, but we won't tell anyone about that. So I can stop my eyebrows.
Where's Sadie based? Anyway?
She is down in Paynton by, is it ATS Tyres?
I cycled through Paynton.
Yeah, I don't know Paynton very well, but I know where she is. And also Stephanie's Beauty Salon in Brixham. She's been a member for years and they have a great team down there. And I will be booking straight in to get these eyebrows sorted out because they're almost touching.
Yeah, do you know what? That's exactly the sort of person that we really want to support. Someone in beauty I've currently got 2 spoons of chicken casserole all over his jumper and my lap. But those sorts of people are exactly the sort of people that I think, you know, like a local business like that, if 10 of our members go and get their eyebrows done, that might be the difference between sort of keeping them afloat or not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then the last one is Beauty with Becky, who does my nails from her house. She's amazing. She's a member at Paynton as well. So give them a follow on Instagram and Facebook.
Can I make my teeth a bit whiter?
Yeah, probably. I'm sure Sadie might be able to do that.
My teeth, I've got like a couple of dead ones where I got headbutted in a fight when I was a kid. They've got a bit of a funny colour. Little Welsh lad he was. And I could definitely do Mike when he was down was like, oh, I want to get my teeth a bit whiter. How do you do it? You have to get them lasered or something, don't you?
Or you can get
Evans has got to know about this, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Evans must know about getting white teeth.
I'm sure he knows about the majority of women that work in the beauty industry in Paynton.
Yes, that's slander. That's slander. I'm all about slander.
I'm sure I can back it up with facts.
Yeah, I've been dealing with the legal definition of slander this week on your behalf. So,
it's not my fault.
No, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Yeah, let's not get into that. So that's the exercise for the week. The second thing we wanted to do was to thank everyone that's got involved so far with the event that starts tomorrow. And just to remind people, and I think me and you are going to do one. We're going to do one together, aren't we?
Yeah, on Zoom.
We're going to do one together on Zoom.
You can bring William.
Yeah, the Don, please.
The Don.
The Don.
Look at him carb loading, ready for his 1,000 reps.
That's what he's been carb loading this morning. I'll tell you what he's at because people might say, what's he doing feeding that baby?
Look at his little face.
We've been doing pitch sprints on the cricket pitch down at Curville today. And so he can sort of, it's 12, cricket pitch, 22 yards. If I say to him, fast one, he charges up and down. We can do a fast one later, yeah? Should we do a fast one? You've got to finish your lunch first, mate. That's it. So thanks to everyone that's got involved with the event that starts tomorrow. Leanne and I are going to do one together. The one thing I wanted to say was thanks to everyone that's worked hard to get donations, but to remember, it'll be much more powerful if you all do it together. So it'd be great if 2 or 3 people in the group and people that don't know each other is my point, because then, you know, you get a new gym friend, a new, you know, maybe you know, you just brighten their day a bit. So I'd really encourage people to do it together. And we're hoping if we can sort of make it work to do that final Saturday one all together on Zoom. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. And maybe just thinking off the top of my head, given that we are potentially going to be able to do outdoor classes from the 29th of March, we could do like a final hoorah and get all 3 sites to have the people in the group that have got involved do 100 reps all together on the
That is a great idea.
Yeah,
that is a great idea. I mean, we haven't come on to that, and obviously this is a Thoughtful Thursday Zoom, but obviously our outdoor gyms will be open to members from the 29th of March, Monday the 29th of March. We'll be providing hourly group classes. I believe, we're still sort of waiting for some clarification from Simpson and that, but I believe it's up to 30 people, so we've just got to check that. But that will all be, sorry about me, but that will all be on our social media platforms, but that hopefully will be the date. So I think everyone knows what they're doing. In terms of the regressions and progressions, like box stuff, do we need to post anything up on that?
I think we'll be okay, but what I'm going to do anyway is get some of our apprentices to do some video demonstrations and post them this week in case anyone needs any help.
Yeah, like I said right at the start, one thing I was worried about is people being like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't want that. You know, this needs to be inclusive. If all you can do is a 3-inch push up off your knees, do it.
Yeah, or even like a push up on the wall.
Absolutely, yeah, even better. So that's the event. We just wanted to touch briefly on thanking people for their questions about their training goals. So rather than Leanne and I do that conversation in this sort of Thoughtful Thursday, we're actually going to film one at the weekend that's a bit more in depth, so I can geek off because I miss it. But for example, I know some of the questions were about female strength training, and that's actually a topic for my PhD. So it's something that I'm very well versed in, and there are some very, very simple things that people don't do. For example, women can handle more volume. Why? Because their outputs are generally less. Why? Because their fiber distribution is, and their hormonal profile is slightly, be careful what you say, but it's not quite the same as a man's. So they tend to recover quicker because their outputs aren't significant. That places even more emphasis on either whole body or half body training rather than body part training, even more emphasis on, guess what? Strength training, right? Rather than cardio. So rather than us do that in a 3 or 4 minute rush, Leanne and I will do that in perhaps a more detailed fashion. There was a couple of other topics you mentioned. Was it return to training?
Yeah, like being nervous about returning to training. So we're going to talk about how to safely get yourself back in the swing of things with weight training in the gym. Torbay half marathon training was mentioned, and I think it'd be a really good opportunity for all our winners members to get involved in the Torbay half. And I know they're also doing a Torbay 10K, which is only one loop. So if people are a little bit intimidated by the distance of a half marathon, I think it'd be a great opportunity for people to train to do a 10K. Yes, just stuff like that, really.
Just to add to that, obviously in previous years, what we've done from the gym is we've selected a charity and had our members become sponsored for those, so that hopefully, I mean, I don't know if those dates are confirmed yet. I haven't seen either of those dates confirmed for those things, but if they are, then we'll be doing them. With regards to say the marathons and training, and again, we'll do this in detail, but one of the things I always talk to people about is the efficiency of your running mechanics. So people think because you're not sprinting, it doesn't matter how you run, doesn't matter if you run by not picking your knees up, doesn't matter if you shuffle. Well, if the further that you're running, the lack of efficiency shows up even more. You want to be more efficient. So regardless of what the distances are, there's going to be a requirement for some strength training to look after your joints. And there's going to be a requirement for some running mechanics. So whether we call that like pogos, A skips, B skips, calf pops, things that actually improve the way that he's feeding himself here. Things that actually improve the way that they run, make them more efficient, and that makes it a lot easier for them. Was there any other topics just off the top of your head that you can think of?
I think it was mostly, women building muscle. Getting better at pull-ups and main lifts like squats and deadlifts.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So we'll definitely cover all those because they're very common ones. So with the female pull-up ones, there is a very simple process, but one of the real barriers becomes that women tend to pull with their biceps. So women have almost like, and we've talked about like glute amnesia before, where women wonder why they can't really develop their glutes. They're doing all this strength training, but their glutes aren't developing. Well, we know in science that women's glutes and hamstrings, unless they follow a really solid activation period, all of like the clamshells, the glute bridges, they can do all the strength work they want, but the glutes just won't fire. So it's normally an activation of the glutes that precedes the ability to like hypertrophy the glutes. The same really applies for the lats. Remember when we did those isometric pullovers? Stuff like that. And do you remember when I made you do banded lean away pulls?
Yeah, disgusting.
Because obviously typically on a pull down, most women do it with their arms, no matter where you put their hands. When you reverse the strength curve by putting one of the bands around the top, when you reverse the strength curve, it just means it's harder at the end than it is at the beginning, whereas typically on a pull down machine, it's harder at the beginning than it is at the end. Then what happens is there's more of a contraction at that finish position. So you're actually able to stimulate the lats. Typically with pull-ups in women, they lack the strength, which is easy to address, but they lack the ability to activate their lats and they end up sort of like pulling and hunching in bits and pieces. So in general terms, there's like an activation, process that needs to happen, then there's a strengthening process that needs to happen.
He's getting ahead of himself here and geeking out again, guys. Sorry.
I'll tell you the God's honest truth is I miss it. I miss talking about training because obviously my job, has changed so much over the last 20 years. You're right, bud. What drink? And I don't get to chat training as much as I'd like to. So what I do, I go into like mega geek mode. Plus, there aren't a lot of people, this sounds arrogant, but there aren't a lot of people that I enjoy talking about training to. So like my tutor, like Dr. Jeremy Moody, or Dodge, these people, I really enjoy talking to them about training because you can normally sort of be guaranteed a really intelligent geeky conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was a really good point as well written down in the group about how one of the ladies in the group struggles to make goals for the gym because she's constantly feels like she's focusing on having to have a weight loss goal. So I'm going to be talking about the benefits of strength training and getting into doing big lifts and stuff, and how that can really change your mindset to focus on performance rather than weight based goals.
You all right, bud? You having a drink?
He's got biceps bigger than you.
Yeah, he's just hydrating before we go for our second sprint session.
Brilliant.
He's called the Dom, dude. He's called the Dom. Yeah, so I think that's a really major point. Hopefully we can do a good job on discussing that. And it goes back to what we said on one of the podcasts a little bit about away from and go-to strategies, and how, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having an away from strategy, but they tend to be a little bit short-lived. You know, I don't want to be fat away from strategy, whereas go-to strategy. And the byproduct, of course, is that when women are focused on performance goals, because they tend to be doing the right type of things, say jumping, sprinting, throwing heavy, lifting heavy, maybe 90% of their work being on resistance rather than cardio, and the cardio they're performing being higher intensities relative to what's safe to them, then they get the results they want anyway. They never even have to think about it. I think I told the story about being up at Cardiff Met with this sprinter who had the worst diet I've ever seen in my life. But she was shredded with an 8-pack, and she would just eat dairy milk all day. And the reason was, well, she just sprinted twice a day. She lifted really heavy, did Olympic lifts. So she was doing all of the physiological triggers she needed to kind of stimulate strength and hypertrophy gains, being very anabolic. So she couldn't put fat on because she was kind of trained the right way. So yeah, we can definitely cover that. I look forward to that.
Cool.
The only other thing that I've got on my list just to cover today before I go, I've actually got like casserole all over my legs now. So you all right, bud? You in your car now, yeah? Yeah, everything all right?
Yeah, he's so cute.
He's just having a oh yeah, he smiled. That's a breakthrough.
Yes.
He actually smiled. It's Leanne, isn't it? Leanne brought that dumbbell. Remember that dumbbell? Remember that dumbbell she brought you? That one that shakes.
Usually when he sees me, he goes like this. His little lip starts going.
Remember, he loves you. It's just his squat thing is what's bothering him. Your piss weak squat is bothering him.
Yeah, okay.
Listen, now you're the head honcho. Now you're in charge. All right, now you've ascended to management. You better get that fucking squat out.
All right. Well, I can definitely hip thrust more than you. So
yeah, I bet you can. So the only other thing I was just going to add to finish was we talked a couple of weeks ago about go back to basics. So we gave suggestions to people for habits of listing their gratitude. All right, bud? Yeah, try drinking. Listing their gratitude and listing their goals, and to review their productivity pyramids. What I hope hasn't happened, of course, is that people have now stopped doing that. That wouldn't really be of any benefit. I actually gave a couple of the things that we've got in this group, I actually gave them to an athlete this morning, someone that needs a bit of help, and that I'm communicating with totally legally over my phone. And some of the things that are in the group, I gave to this athlete today. So it's not just something to do once and then forget about it. It should become a habit that sort of stays them hopefully for the long term.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You got anything else?
I think that's it. Just everybody sharing the Just Giving link for the British Heart Foundation charity event starting tomorrow, and we'll be posting more ways that you can tell people that you're getting involved in the event, like little pictures and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably what you and I will do before long is probably on our main page as well, is just let everybody know about dates and stuff, because I know a lot of people are asking. So at the moment, it looks like it'll be 29th of March, the outdoor gyms will open for outdoor group classes. So we believe the number is 30 per class. If that's the case, we will basically run classes by the hour at each 3 sites on the outdoor gyms, totally legal. You'll have to adhere to some basic rules, like making sure you clean your equipment after you and blah, 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 etc. But that's the provisional plan. That will not count as being a live membership. So for example, if a member's saying, well, does my membership start? Then no, it doesn't. The membership will restart on the 12th of April, which is the date that the gyms will be open fully as we understand it. You all right, bud? You're shouting at Leanne here. Then they get your squat up, bitch. So at the moment, it'd be 12th of April. But what's in the papers today, it might even be a little bit sooner, who knows. So that's the provisional date. In terms of returning time to members with direct debits that have been frozen, that will be very, very simple. Just simply coming to the desk, giving us your information. That will all be dealt with. I know that's been a common question. So we will post some stuff up about that. We're just waiting for a little bit more confirmation and clarification from UK Active and SIMSA, who are our regulatory bodies, just to make sure that everything we do is 100% accurate. Because if we were to break a rule, I reckon me and you go to prison, don't you?
I reckon I'd be in the back of the squad car.
in the back of the council pickup, I reckon.
Yeah.
They're the ones that put it in for you.
They'll be spotted in paint and seen Leanne Bitten in the back of a police car.
Yeah, I was really grateful to the person that took a great picture of my daughter's glutes as she went to turn off the alarm as someone tried to break into the Newton Abbot gym, and she was very kind in going and turned off the alarm system, and somebody very kindly took a picture of her glutes just to say, your daughter's looking phenomenal, walking into your gym to turn off your alarm system when someone tried to break in.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a few privacy and data protection laws broken there.
Yeah,
Well,
I just thought, I said to her, "Oh, your glutes look good in that, darling, don't they?" Not doing bad on your hill sprints, are you? So yeah. Anyway, what else have you been up to?
Just doing my Zooms. My 8-week challenge finishes this week, and got all the testimonies coming up.
We're going to let people know a little bit about a bit of a Lean with Leanne giveaway that we might be doing when the gym opens.
Oh, maybe.
Save that.
Let's save that for next week.
Save that for next week. Yeah.
There you go. Keep your eyes peeled.
What about everything else? How's family life down there? All right? How's your swamp in the back garden?
Oh, the swamp in the back garden is still a swamp, but the roof is now fixed and done. Good. We've got a new roof. The cat had his vaccinations today.
Well, it's COVID jab.
Yeah, it's COVID jab. No, and he got microchipped. So there we go.
You got microchips, yeah.
That's about as exciting as my life gets during lockdown.
Yeah, but I tell you how bad lockdown's got for me is I actually tidied up my back garden the other day.
Whoa!
All that crap that's like in my garden by the office, I actually tidied it up, and I've got like a pile ready to go to the skip when we're able to do it. So that shows you just how bad it's got for me.
Yeah, right. Crikey.
What else have you been up to? Anything else interesting?
Not really. Just filming Zooms with you when.
That's the best bit of your week, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Best bit of your week. Well, I think the only other thing I'd say in closing to all of our members is that hopefully with slightly better weather and with the fact that we do have some dates, which the government have been pretty firm on, that we are really in countdown mode to the end of this complete madness, and that there are going to be really good things ahead. I think one of the greatest pieces of language, I remember hearing it on an NLP course in Covent Garden, where this Richard Bandler said, this will pass. And he was actually talking to someone who'd been through a pretty horrific experience up on stage. I remember he said, like, this will pass, these feelings will pass. And I know it might sound very, very simple, but I think at this point, hopefully people are starting to realize, yeah, this will pass. There is light at the end of the tunnel. The weather's a bit better, although it started pissing down again here now. So we're off to the park in a minute. But I hope that everyone in the group can start to sort of form great ideas about things they can do when the world does reopen. I hope that everyone's thinking about, for example, something else I said to this athlete, contribution. So I've got a couple of things planned that I want this athlete to do, because I believe greatly that the power of contribution in terms of helping people feel a bit better. So we've obviously got our series of events lined up, all being well over the summer, the dog show, the bike ride, the boot campathon, etc. So I would encourage people to start setting goals for what am I going to do physically, what am I going to do in terms of contribution. I actually said to this person this morning, write me a list of all the things that you're excited about doing in the future. Handwrite it. Write me a list. You may never do them, but just write me a list of things that you're excited that you might do in the future. Because obviously you understand, I want that person to start thinking about options and opportunities and things that are interesting and positive. So hopefully all the members of our group are thinking along those lines.
Yes, can't wait.
Can't wait. What's your physical goal going to be? I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided if I want to go and win the National Fitness Games, or maybe pursue say martial arts and boxing a bit more, or go back to athletics. I haven't decided.
You can't do everything. That's
right. That's right. I think I've said to a few people before, I'd like to have some sort of British record in something by the end. My genetics would probably suit an 800 meters runner, because that's sort of I know, but the British record's 2 minutes, right, for my age group, and that, let's say 120 seconds. So if you think about, say, my rowing, like 500 meters, I'm in, like, for my age group, in like the top 15 in the country without training for it. So I don't think my genetics would ever suit. I'm never going to beat Linford Christie at 100. I haven't got the fiber type. But my guess is I've probably got the toughness and the genetics to maybe do an 800. So I haven't quite decided which way to go with it yet. So what about you? What's your physical goal going to be when you get back in that gym?
200 kilo hip thrust. Come on.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say 100 reps per day on the glute drive that you probably so badly.
Yeah, I'm just going to hug it when I go in. I've missed you.
Have you got those big plates yet for your your hip thrust? So
Yeah.
Hannah sorted them out for you, did she?
No, I bought them myself.
Oh, did you? I thought Hannah sorted it. All right. Yeah, so they're amazing. So all the ladies that use the hip thrust, we've bought the oversized plates to make it easier for you to get in and out.
Yeah, roll it over your quads.
Yeah, of your massive quads.
Yeah, huge. Bigger than yours.
Yeah, nah, not all my hill sprints. All I've been doing is sprinting up hills the last God knows how long. Right, so I better go and sort out this.
Where is he?
Mess. Say bye to Leanne.
Bye.
Wave.
Oh, he's so cute.
All right, bud, you gonna wave? No.
You're very lucky, members, because you've got a little glimpse into how Simon makes out he's this hard man, but actually when it comes to his little baby boy, he's a softie.
To all of my children, to my Harrison 21, my Angel 18, and the Don, the King. Yeah, nothing more important in my view than children.
Oh, listen to him, he's so cute.
Yeah, do you know what the funny thing is? So he's currently playing with a black fold-up chair. Yeah.
Yeah.
On the back of that fold-up chair is Balamori stickers. I'll see if I can show you in a sec. That used to be in my office in Torquay. My daughter put those Balamori stickers on there when she was about two or three.
Aww.
And the stickers are still there. Let me see if I can get the stickers for it. Can I have that one, bud? Let's have this chair left. Let's have this chair. Right, can you see the Balamori stickers?
Yes.
They've been on there for like a generation. So
Very cute.
Maybe I'll have to save them for their grandchildren. Do you know what I mean?
I think so.
Right, dude, I'm going to go and clear up this complete shithole of a house. I'll be in trouble.
Right, I'll see you later.
All right, say bye then.
Bye.
Say bye, Leanne. All right, see you later, dude.
Bye.